What's up, guys? David here with you, and we're finally we're finally home for the night. We was running a little bit late, but we got home and go through all this stuff like that. But we're finally here. I do apologize for running a little bit behind, but we're here, and we got some good things that we want to talk about tonight. Um, Not going to hold you guys much long, but I hope the stream's doing okay. If you guys can hear me, comment that you guys can hear me, and so I make sure everything's good. I try not to. I hope the signal's fine. That you guys can hear me, and so I make sure everything's good. I try not to. I hope the signal's fine. I think everything should be fine. But what I wanted to talk about this evening or tonight was going to be I was cleaning out my garage and I found an old tablet of mine that I started writing in back in 2012. And I was going through this tablet and it just, man, it was amazing at all the things that I was writing down and the mindset, different goals that I had written down. And so I want to talk a little bit about that tonight. Talking about doing whatever it takes until you get to that place of being successful in whatever you want to do. All right, cool. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. I did get a couple of emails in pertaining to a dryer, and let's see here. Let me go to the emails. This one email. Let's see. Let me go to this other one. Y'all bear with me. All right, come on, phone. Click over and do right. He said that he was having a problem with the dryer, the Whirlpool dryer. Said it thumps while spinning, took apart, and everything looks good. Only 2 months old. What am I missing? What parts should I take to correct the issue? Customer paying the bill because they're not wanting to wait for the warranty company to arrive. I had the video running. So this dryer was just a regular dryer with the lint filter up on the top, not a fancy dryer. So a lot of times when dryers thump like that, it can be, for one, the rollers. Number two, the rollers can be bent. The shafts can be bent on them. The next thing you want to look for is see if the tub is busted or got a crack in it. I did a video a while back, several months back, and it was an earring had got caught in the felt of the dryer. And so always when you pull those tubs out, make sure, you eyeball the felt that goes around the drum, because a lot of times I can see earrings. A lot of times it's just earrings that get caught in the midst of those felt. So I would check that. And also check the Eiler pulley, make sure that the Eiler pulley is turning properly. Also, I would check and make sure that the motor is fastened down properly, because that motor has a clip that goes in there and holds that motor down. It's just held down by clips. So I would make sure that that's down properly. But anyways, so I believe that was the only email I got. I would check those components there. And I do get calls when customers don't want to deal with a warranty because it's going to take them forever for the warranty company to come out there. And so we do handle calls like that. Sometimes you get yourself in tight situations. Just explain to the customer right then that, hey, if it's under the warranty, the best thing to do, because it could be a serious issue and you could be spending a lot more money than what you want to spend and while it's under the warranty. So, but I was going through this little handy dandy notebook here, and this is just a simple composition book. I recommend you guys getting you a tablet that you can carry around with you, because there's one thing that you can have all what you want to do in your mind, and it's hard for one to have all that, trying to juggle that in your mind. So it's good to write down your thoughts, write down your goals, because when you get it on a piece of paper, you no longer, you got it down on that piece of paper and you leaving room for other things that you can learn, in your mind. That was one of the things that helped me, especially juggling all that what I juggle. So, but I wanted to go in here and My first Google number, I got a Google number. At the time, I didn't want to put my personal number out there, so I got a Google number. And my first business that I thought about doing was a hauling business, uh, foreclosure cleanouts. Like this is like while I was still buying storage units, I thought about getting into a hauling clean off business. And so I was looking at this tablet, and I got all notes that was pertaining to the hauling business. They had like white glove cleaning, all kind of different cleaning parts of this business. And let me turn to it here. Let's see. I got all kind of different things in here. Sometimes it's awesome to look at this stuff. Let's see, where'd it go? Okay. And so this is the things that are written down. Like cleaning white glove was going to be cleaning ceiling fans, air vents, window sills, baseboards, corners, sweeping and mopping floors. But why am I telling you guys this? Because generally my channel is about appliance repair, and I've done all these different things, but at that time I didn't know that appliance repair was going to be my gig, something that I liked. But even though I'm doing appliance repair, I still have goals that I have set in 5 years, 10 years. And so with that being said, I want to use this as an example to write down everything that you want to do. Okay. This year, like my thinking was, if I can make $300, if I could get 3 calls a week, I knew that we can pay our bills and we can make it. So my first goal was to go out here and talk to everybody that I could talk to. I was in a town to where there was no appliance repairman. I knew that all the furniture stores that I went and talked to, they said, hey, we get people that call us looking for appliance repair. I got on the phone with all the HVAC companies and I called them and said, hey, are y'all getting calls for appliance repair? They're like, man, we get it all the time. Well, hey, my name's David. Here's my telephone number. I work on washers, dryers, stoves, and refrigerators. I'm right here in the local area. If you don't mind passing them my number. And so between all the HVAC companies, between all the furniture companies, I was able to at least get 3 calls a week. Now, at first, I wasn't charging enough. I was only charging $65 for service charge, and that was also my labor rate plus markup on parts. And like I said in the previous video, you want to be able to charge way more than that. You want to at least get in between 95 to 125 at the bottom of labor rate. Okay, because a lot of times you're going to have to come back. You're going to have to order a part. And you got to take in consideration that, once you put this part on, there may be other issues. So, you got to factor in maybe a third trip sometimes. And so with all these different aspects, that's why I say at least charge 95 to 125. So anyways, back to what I was saying, $300 a week is what my initial goal was. And there was weeks to where I would get more calls than that, but that was my goal. And for the weeks that I only maybe got 1 service call, well, I had other outlets that I was out there advertising that if I got, like for instance, I knew that if I could sell 1 washer and dryer set, that would be an extra 75 to 150. So say, okay, there may have been some weeks where I got 1 appliance repair job, I at least made $100 on that. And say if I sold a washer and dryer set for, made a profit of 150, well, guess what? I'm $50 away from my goal that I really initially had set. Why did I say $300? Well, because at that time I was just working a minimum wage job. I wasn't even making $300 a week, but I knew that I could do this on my own. I can at least make this a week and survive, pay my bills. Okay, and my first year in the appliance repair business, there were some weeks to where I would get 6 calls. Man, if I got 6 calls that week, that was a great week, blessed week. And Lord have mercy, 5 years on down the road, we got 3 guys running and we're doing 20, 30 calls a week or more. I mean, on a daily basis between us all 3. But what I'm getting to is set you a goal and what you need to make. Okay. A lot of you guys have, sit down and consider what can you do. Some of you guys, you may work a job. You may have a part-time job. I know I got guys on the channel that they're in HVAC and they're wanting to do appliance repair, and so you know having a main cash flow is going to help your stress levels. And what I mean by that is, you just don't want to quit your job and just go rely on appliance repair. You want to, if you're working a full time job, you want to be able to get to people on the weekends. If you get off at 4:30 in the evening, work to about 7 o'clock, go hit these jobs. Start advertising. Facebook is a very great way to advertise your appliance repair business. If you're going to, I love Facebook. Facebook is a very good way to get your name out there. And when you go to a customer's house, say, hey, you guys got Facebook, you guys got Google. Well, hey, and what I recommend doing is, see, this is going to be in the appliance repair blueprint that I'm fixing to draw. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a sneak peek. What you could do is print you out a flyer. Okay, and on this flyer, it's going to have step-by-step directions, because there's a lot of customers that's familiar with the internet world, and there's a lot of customers that's not. And so when you complete the job, you write the invoice. You can have this little step-by-step directions on how to go and leave your business a 5-star review, and strictly stress 5-star review. I want 5-star reviews. And so what they'll do is they'll go on there, and, you can have, this is my Facebook and this is Google My Business, and you can say, hey, go to DC Appliance Repair, find my business and hit the review button and leave me a review. That's a good little tip right there. It's better than just saying, hey, can you leave me a review? And the customer's like, where do I leave a review at? Well, you go on Google where you found me. Well, I don't know how to do all that. Well, guess what? I got a step-by-step right here that can teach you, show you how to write me a review. And so that's a little tip right there. But anyways, I want to go in here. You guys have any comments? Yeah, see, that's what I'm doing now. Yes, that's good. I got a lot of folks that, I see the age group of where a lot of, people view my channel. And, I think a lot of people are coming to the realization, I don't know what it is. Back in the day when I first got started doing this, a lot of older people in my family and different stuff, they just did not understand. And what's going on, Scott? And so it was hard to explain to them what I was trying to do. Oh, you just need to go and, work a job, which I was working a job. I did different things, but I was hard-headed, like, why I want to go work for the man for $10 an hour. My circumstances, that was just really the best that I could do, because I didn't have a lot of knowledge and skills to, do a lot of different things like that. So, the best that I could probably do is maybe $10, $12 an hour, which I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but I knew that I had the ability and the know-how, and, well, not necessarily the know-how at the time. I had the ambition that this is what I wanted to do. But y'all guys leave me a comment real fast. Y'all got any questions? I'd like to answer them for you as I go in here and find this good old goals that I had written down. Man, I was selling on Amazon. I was selling everywhere. The real important thing to do is really have 3 sources of income. I got this appliance repair business going, but I don't want to do appliance repair forever. And what I mean is I don't want to be a technician on the road forever. Okay. I want to be able to get this business to a place that I can manage it and feel comfortable managing it enough to step back a little bit. And I want to take my money that I've been saving and doing, and I want to take it and put it in something and grow it here. So, just because the appliance repair business is doing good as it's doing, just something about me. I don't want to stop there. Like I don't honestly. I want to be able to do different things. Man, let me find this darn thing. I know I got it in here. See, I wasn't able. I'm running behind. I wasn't able to prep real good, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. This is the juicy stuff. So right here, my hustle is appliances. I enjoy selling washers and dryers. The minimum price that I will sell a set for is $250. If I sell singles, they're $150 a piece. The most that I can sell a set for in my area was $450. Okay, I wrote down my inventory sources. My inventory sources was from individuals. What does that mean? Well, I was getting on Craigslist. I was getting on Facebook. I was getting on all the outlet sources where people post up and sell appliances. Apartment places. I would go to the property management companies and I'd go to the managers of apartments. And of course, I had my number out there. They would call me and want me to haul off all their old refrigerators, all their old washers and dryers if they had them. A lot of apartments will have refrigerators. They'll supply the refrigerators. So that was one of my sources. And then, of course, storage units. That was one of my inventory sources. Okay, this is where I set my goal. In a minimum of 3 years, I want to make a six-figure income. Now, you thinking that $100,000 or a six-figure income is hard to achieve? Let me tell you something. In the appliance repair business, regardless if you're selling washers and dryers or if you're servicing washers and dryers, that can easily be attainable in 3 to 5 years. It could be faster than that, but in 3 to 5 years, and in any sense of business, there's a lot of learning curve. It takes you about 3 to 5 years to make this kind of money. Now, you could do it in your first year. Absolutely. But 3 to 5 years is going to be a strong foundation laid for you. There's a lot of things that you're going to learn. So, okay, six-figure income. All right, so my selling goals. I want to sell a minimum of 4 sets a week. 4 sets a week is what I wanted to try to sell. Now, let me remind you guys, this is before I actually got into appliance repair. Okay, and like I said, when I got into appliance repair, I knew that if I can get at least 3 calls, okay, because let me explain something to you. When you was where I was at, flipping appliances and fixing appliances was definitely two different businesses. I know for you guys that flip appliances, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you running a business and you're selling washers and dryers, you can sell washers and dryers from your home and stay on a small scale. But if you're trying to go large scale with just selling appliances, it's a whole different business itself versus just fixing appliances. But anyways, I wanted to sell a minimum of 4 sets a week, and that was going to be a profit of $1,000. Okay, a week. $1,000 a week equals to $48,000 a year. $48,000 a year if you can sell 4 washers and dryer sets. Okay. That's crazy money right there. To start out, you can make $48,000. You can make $1,000 a week selling washers and dryers. The first time that I made a $600 profit within 4 hours of selling washers and dryers, I was hooked. I was like, okay, this is something I love. This is something I understand. Everybody needs a washer and dryer, no doubt about it. And the good thing about appliance field is that regardless of what the economy is doing, everybody has a washer, everybody has a dryer, everybody has a stove, everybody has a refrigerator. If the economy goes bad, will people be a little bit tight on money? Absolutely. But hey, your family and you still be getting, you can supply everything you need in the appliance repair field. And that goes for HVAC too. Everybody needs their AC too. And so, thanks free. Okay, let's see. What are your thoughts on seal systems, and do you work on seal systems? Okay, I got to seal systems. I understand seal systems. I know that I can read gauges. I know how to change dryers. Now, as far as installing compressors and evaporators in the business right now, we have another guy that does this for us. Seal systems are great to get into just to the fact of refrigerators that we see having seal system issues. Okay. On a warranty side for seal systems, right now, one of the warranty companies that we work for, they pay a minimum $280 labor for seal systems. Okay, and that's them supplying the compressor, that's them supplying the evaporator or whatever part that may be needed. There is guys that do seal systems, and they can at least charge $300 to $400 labor or more to do a job. So with that being said, it's according what area you're in. Like I had a guy in California, he says that his labor rate starts at a minimum 195. That's any job. So it's according what area you're in, and what I would do is I would market that I do seal systems in LG and Samsung compressors because that's the number one thing that you're going to change them in. But when I'm looking at an evaporator, as you can see in my different videos that I've had before, I can tell when there's a seal system issue going on just by looking at that pattern on that evaporator. So with that being said, I think seal systems is great. It's according where your knowledge base is in the appliance repair business. Is it something that you can jump right in and make money in? Absolutely. But as far as me, I didn't have nobody to really train me. There was, that what I do know, I've learned totally on my own. So with that being said, I recommend you could do either or. I mean, but if it's going to cost you to go learn seal systems, I say build the other side of appliance repair and just doing regular repairs first. And then when you're able to get that going real well and get comfortable with appliances, then get into seal systems. Okay, let's see. Do you have ideas where a trailer of used appliances could be purchased in bulk? Okay, I have looked into this. Yes. There's different websites that you can order from where they can send you truckloads. I've been kind of iffy of that. What I was doing, of course, I'm right here in Florida. I was traveling to Tifton, Georgia. What I recommend doing is look up your used appliance businesses. Now, sometimes, you may have to travel 4 hours like I had. That's the best way. I just don't trust people because they a lot of these buying in bulk, they want you to have at least a minimum 15 to 20 pieces, and you're easily talking $1,000, and so I wasn't comfortable just sending some random Joe $1,000 and wait for a truckload to come in. Plus you got to pay for the darn shipping. So what I would do is I would just, look around in the states around you, looking around in the towns around you. 4 hours was the max I was willing to drive because, you got to factor in your gas and different things. So I would just look around and just see if you could find somebody like I did and go that route. That's what I recommend for that. Let's see. I did HVAC refrigeration for 16 years. I'm going to tell you, refrigerators are a different animal for sure. Yeah, they're different animals. They have a dryer on them. The condenser and the evaporator. In 2 years, I would like to incorporate in HVAC and have HVAC in the business. But as far as you got to get the right gauges. The HVAC gauges read in like 10, 20, 30. You want to be able to get smaller gauges to where you can read in just ounces because, you only talking about putting a couple ounces in a refrigerator. And so, when you're looking at the gauges, what I like to do, like to see if it's running low or not. If it's reading up where it's supposed to be, and say when I unplug it, normally that pressure will go up higher in between 40 to 45. And when I unplug it and just say if that pressure stays low, If it only goes about 20 or 30, well, then yeah, I know that it's low. I can look at the gauges and tell you if it's in a vacuum or not, or if the dryer's clogged up. Um, you being an HVAC, I know, you can look at the gauge and tell, what that system's doing. The only difference is, you're only talking ounces versus a pound. So, um, and the dryer's a little bit smaller, but it's the same. Like if a dryer's clogged up, I'll just reach my hand down there and see if that joker's frozen up or cold. If it's real cold, then I know that dryer's clogged up. And your high lines and your low lines, put my hand on the line, see if it's cooling or not. There's been times where my gauges messed up on me and I was able to just, twist that bottle. And when I was gassing up refrigerators at the time, and I let that line get cool, get it real chill, and I just back it off a little bit, and a lot of people's like, oh, that ain't right, da da da. Well, my grandpa, he used to be a mechanic on cars, and that's what he does is HVAC on cars. And so a lot of my knowledge comes from that too. But yeah, they are different. I haven't personally did HVAC on a scale of doing refrigeration for HVAC, but they're tedious, definitely for sure. All right, guys, y'all have any more questions? But going back to what I'm talking about, I heard something selling a blender repair and a dryer. Okay, let me talk about dryer vent cleaning. So dryer vent cleaning, this was, market and dryer vent cleaning helped me reach my goals in a lot of areas. Yes. And this is something that I'm going to include. I got a lot of pictures that I'm going to put into a file because, this is going to help you guys market this particular business. Okay. So when I go into any dryer, of course, if I'm just doing a repair on it, I vacuum and clean it out, but I get a before and after picture. A lot of people are aware about their dryers, being dirty and being clogged, but when you can have pictures in front of them and even a video, I've shot videos saying, let me explain to you what the temperature gets like in this unit. And I would sit there because a clogged up dryer vent is going to cause that dryer to short cycle. What I mean is that thermostat's going to kick on real fast and it's going to open up and it's going to close real fast. It's going, real fast. And the customer's going to say, hey, my dryer, my clothes are not getting dry, but it's real hot. And you automatically know that that's the deal that's going on. For one, the dryer's probably got a clog inside the housing itself, or the exhaust is dirty. So they are money makers. I advertise doing dryer vent cleaning starting at $95. And I got the pictures and I explained to them that, we break down your dryer, we clean the inside of the dryer, because a lot of people are under the impression that I clean my vent so it's not dirty, but that's not true. I don't care how clean you clean that lint filter, stuff gets by there. So I market that way. I show them pictures, and you can go out there and you can get fancy with the dryer vent cleaning stuff. You can get an awesome machine, which I recommend if you're going to be doing it on a large scale. But you can go and just get the simple one that hooks onto your drill and clean dryer vents. I got hooked up with a condo one time doing like 20 or 30 rooms. That was all that I had, but hey, I made it work. So dryer vent cleaning is very good. Especially if you can market it right and bring awareness to it. So yeah, they're definitely money makers. Okay, how do I keep track of calls using notes on iPad? Okay, I'll show you guys. Let's see here. Did I miss a comment here? Let me make sure I'm not missing you guys. All right. Somebody commenting on another thing. Okay, so use what you call, a team up app. And this is my calls that I got starting running tomorrow. Okay. And this is the next day. And so this is everybody that is booked for tomorrow. This is, I'm yellow, the other technician is green, the other technician is blue. So right here is what you call the Team Up app. Okay, this is what we got for Monday right now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's 22 jobs booked in for tomorrow. Now, what's good about this is you can pull up everybody. Let's see. You can pull up everybody. I hope you guys can see that. Whoops, sorry. And when I click on my job, I click on it, and this app gives you the ability to put their name, their number, their address. Of course, this one is a warranty job, so I got the work order number there. And so what's good about this is, like, when I click on it, when I click on the address, it automatically pulls it up in Google Maps and it gives me the address. And so I recommend it. It's free. It's awesome. And what I do is say I go on this job here, okay, and I need to reschedule them, put them back on. So what I do is I hit the little pin down here, and that allows me to change the time, allows me to change the date. I make a little note up here on the top. And the way that I put this in, when you go back to here, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I got the area codes up in the top part. So when somebody calls and say, okay, I got a guy that's going to be in the 2-6 Friday, or I got a guy that's going to be on the 2-6 Tuesday, what's your area code? And so they tell me they're in the 6-6, so that's Navarre. So I look and I try to schedule, if I'm going to be in the 6-6 or if the next guy's going to be in the 6-6, I try to keep that all in the same order. So, everybody's not running all over the place. And so check that out. It's called Team Up app. I think it's available for Android. Well, I know it's available for Android and I think iPhone. So that's good too. It don't take that hard to figure out. And it's free. Let's see here. Commercial blender repair. Scott, I personally haven't fooled with blenders myself. Commercial blenders, I imagine they're, on a larger scale. It's not an area that I'm familiar with, but, I encourage you to, hey, go check it out. Go into a restaurant. I would go talk to restaurants. Like, if I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna get into commercial blender repair, I'm gonna go talk to restaurant managers. I'm gonna ask them, hey, you got somebody working on your blenders? You got somebody working on your equipment? They say, yeah, they may be out of town. A lot of times these commercial places are out of town. They're some of them several states away. So if they're several states away, that's a good way to get your foot in the door. Training on that, I don't know where I would get my training on it, but I'd figure out a way to maybe get on YouTube and learn it. Oh yeah, ice machines for sure. There is good money in that also, yes. Okay, let me read this. I want to show, but growing pains are making it hard to capture calls. I've been using the answering service to schedule, but I'm not happy with it. How do you handle it? Okay, so like I said, Team Up out. So let's just say I'm going down the road and I don't have time to pull out my phone real fast. Let's see. I'll write that customer's information down real fast. Like I'll pull up this calendar and and you got different ways you can pull this calendar up. You can do it to where, let's see here. Let me find this. Okay, so like here's the week part. You can also do it to where it's the day part. Like, for instance, oh, come on, Mr. Calendar. And so, like I said, this is every guy, okay? So a customer calls me and I'm able to look at my jobs that I already have. Like this day is pretty much already booked up for everybody. So I would possibly go look at Tuesday. So right now, Tuesday, 1, 2, 3, 4. As far as what I got booked up for myself, I got 4 jobs. So again, when people call, even though I got 4 jobs, if the next guy, he may have 6, but they're in his service area, I make sure that I put that over there on him, because again, that's just efficient, that when you're in the same zip code there, you ain't having to drive all over zip codes. um and so it's good to get a thing to wear around your neck for when people call. It is aggravating when you're on a job and people are calling and they all calling up at once, but I manage it. And so, like I said, and the way that I set this up, like right here, this is Williamsburg's. This is in the 32561. I got their name and it's got their time. So they call, and sometimes I may not have time to put them in the schedule. I may just open up a new block. I may put the customer's name in their zip and put incomplete in it. So I know that I got to go in here because I probably written their name down on a tablet somewhere, and I'll go in here since I got incomplete. It's all about making notes in this app. If you can make notes like this is incomplete, or I need to pick this up at the parts house, this app works great. And so say here's a job right here that's going to require 2 guys. So this sub calendar here is where you're going to put your guys on at. So, you can get advanced technical with it, but there's no need. This Team Up app has worked for years. And again, it's free. You can go in there and create your little account and, learn how to use it that's efficient for you. And I think it's great. There's great money in ice machines. One thing I realized that there's great money in is microwaves. I first how I'll bill out on the customer. Okay, well let me talk about this first. So microwaves, man. At first, I was intimidated by microwaves. I didn't understand the process of having to take them down. I didn't know that. When I learned that, because I didn't never fool with microwaves. When I learned that they hung on a lip in the back and I could take them down easy, I was like, okay, I did not know this. So microwaves are very great. A lot of times lid switches go out in them, and man, you can get micro switches for the cheap. And magnetrons are cheap. The only thing with microwaves, if the control board goes bad, and it's like over $180 for the control board, when they got a $250 microwave, I just say, hey, go get you a new one. But when you got a micro switch that costs you 20 cents, man, $100, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, on to the next one. So how do I bill out customers? So when a customer calls, first thing I do is explain to them that, hey, our service charge is $65. That's for us to come out, for us to diagnose. Now, if we decide that the repair is not repairable, or if it's, something, the amount of money that you don't want to spend, well, then the $65 service fee is owed. Okay, so if you want to do the repair, our labor rate starts at $95. Well, where does it end? Well, I figured it up that if nowadays jobs only take about an hour and 30 minutes. Now, if it's some big crazy job where it takes 2 hours, well, of course I charge more, but generally $95 to $125 is what I tell the customer. But I've been leaving it that, hey, labor rate starts at $95. That $65 goes into that labor rate. So when I pull up, I've been reading customers for a long time. And when I go in there and I say, hey, this is what you need, this is how much it's going to cost. I have it on my van, or if I don't have it on my van, I make sure, that I at least collect the service charge, because sometimes people, when you get on down the road, they may say, hey, I've changed my mind. I don't want to do this repair. Hey, that's okay. And so I explained to them that that service charge is owed when we, when we get there, when we arrive, when we give you that quote. Now, there are times where I've had repeat customers and I feel good about it. I'll just tell the customer, hey, let's square up when I return, but like I said, I've had it happen both ways. I just recommend collecting that service charge, and then when you come back and you write it up on the invoice that service charge was paid and that this amount is owed. And so when you return, you already got it on your invoice, and that this person needs to pay this amount of money. So at least try to collect your service charge, just to the fact of you don't want to have to drive back out there to get your service charge. So at least collect your service charge. Yes, collect on the spot. But like I said, guys, sorry that I run a little late. But so I recommend you guys to write these things down. Yes, I do warranty work and COD. Right now, the warranty work, we have two warranty companies that we work for, and Old Republic is one of them. FA is the other. Really loving Old Republic right now because of how they pay out. They don't have no problem at all. They lease charging you. They lease allowing us to charge an hour and a half on labor, and that's great, which is generally about $140. And so, I do say this, TC Appliance Repair, if you got knowledge on fixing appliances, you feel comfortable on whatever gets thrown at you, I say find, I'm gonna throw this out there, okay? What you want to do, because I'm putting this in the advertising blueprint, but I love you guys. I appreciate it. This is what I do. I would go to a realty company and I would ask them, what is the warranty that y'all are selling? And because there's so many different warranty companies out here, man, I'm gonna tell you guys, there's so many warranty companies out here, but why do you want to get hooked up with this warranty company that's just got maybe 4 homes in the area? Or if they maybe just got 10 homes in the area? You don't want to get hooked up with those. What you want to get hooked up with is the warranty company that these realtors out here are pumping out left and right. That's who you want to get hooked up with, because you get hooked up with a warranty company that's selling thousands and thousands and thousands of these warranties to these people. That's the one you want to get hooked up with. Because for one thing, what that's going to do is that's going to boost you. You're not paying somebody to get these calls for you. You're actually meeting new customers and you getting paid for it. So with that being said, there is an advantage to warranty companies. I still have these warranty companies because, for one, it helps, everybody gets paid. I know so many jobs are coming in. So as getting hooked up with the right warranty company, you got to go in your area and find out who that company is and get hooked up with them. I'll send that bill in the mail. I should at least get a like for that, because that's valuable information. A lot of people, that took a long time to understand that right there, because there's so many different warranty companies. But go to your local realtor that's selling homes left and right and say, hey, I want to buy a house, or I'm thinking about getting hooked up with a warranty company, and what are the warranties that y'all sell? And they'll tell you. And when they tell you, get on the website, put in the application, and find it. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the way to go, is getting hooked up through a warranty company in your area. So yeah, but yeah, guys, I love Appliance Repair. Appliance Repair has, changed my life in a lot of different ways. I had a rough start at an early age, and I just knew for myself that I had to find something, and thank the good Lord, this is what it was. This is my milk money. This is my source of income. But, this old boy right here, he ain't stopping at Appliance Repair, okay? I got so many different things. like I said, I was at the time thinking about doing foreclosure clean out. I was hauling and delivering and installing appliances for Craigslist. What do I mean by that? Well, I would get on there and I would write an ad like this. Hey, this is David with DC Appliance Repair. If you're looking to buy a washer, dryer, stove, refrigerator on Craigslist, but you don't have a way to get it to your house, give me a call. Within this certain mile range, I charge this price. And I at least had a minimum $60 $60 fee, because I had to pull up to that person's house and then deliver it to the next person's house. And so that price range would change. So that's something that I recommend doing. I got my guys that's up in Kentucky right now. They're flipping washers and dryers, and I told them, hey, get on there and write this little ad up. Hey, looking to buy washers and dryers. I'll pay you a certain amount of price for them. And man, he tells me, he's like, thank you so much, because this has allowed my inventory to grow. So, right now, the best thing to do is my email. I'll have that in the description. I do have my number out there. I mean, you can call me anytime, but sometimes that gets a little bit out of hand, a little bit. And so right now, it's at DC Appliance Repair 2012 at gmail.com. And like I said, I'll put it in the comments. Here you go, right here. Let me fix this for you right here. I'll hook you up. DC. Make sure, yeah. Right there. So where do I go to get tech sheets for appliances? Okay, sometimes when you get into a washer, just say if the tech sheet is not there, because some random Joe come in there and he took it with him. I've been guilty of it. Can't say that I haven't. So we got a program that's called MSA. And MSA is, let's see here, MSA. MSA through Marcon. And MSA is, it's according to how many technicians you got. I think if you're one person, I think it's like maybe 140, 180 bucks, something like that. And so MSA World. Here, I'll type that in. MSA World. You want to go to MSA World. And not only is this good to get all the troubleshooting on appliances, you can find your tech sheets, you can find all these great sources on this particular appliance. A lot of times what you can do is just say Sears Parts Direct will have a diagram that they allow you to print off sometimes. So I would go there, but tech sheets are normally like, say, your top load washers and dryers. And normally when you pull that top panel off, they're located up under there. If they're not there, especially a lot of your front load washers, there'll be that back panel on the back that exposes the pulley and the belt or the stator. And sometimes they'll be on the back of that. A lot of your dryers, like say your common dryer, your common Whirlpool, Kenmore, that's got the lint filter on the top. I would say that there are a lot of times, once you pop the control panel back, they'll be in the control panel right there. Let's see, refrigerators. Refrigerators are a lot of times, according to what you're dealing with, they'll be in the top, like on the top of the refrigerator where it covers up the hinges of the refrigerator. They'll be in there. You can look for them there. Sometimes they'll be behind the control board. But I recommend getting MSA World just to the fact of it gives you everything, how to, what that tech sheet's not going to give you. It'll give you, because there's a group of technicians on there that's just putting valuable information on there. So that's what I would do. But generally, like and then on your washers, like your regular top load washers, a lot of times they'll be in the control panel, and then like your, Lord, I'm going blank, like your washers that hangs on the suspension kits that's got the lights up under the bottom. They're going to be up in the cabinet of the wash machine. I got a video on that where you can locate those. You can check that out too. But yeah, Scott, feel free to contact me through that email, and I'll give you a number there that you can call me at, where you can talk with me. Like I said, man, that's where I'm going with this channel. I've been blessed to have the many people that I got right now, and I appreciate all you guys. I know one day this YouTube channel is probably, hopefully it becomes another source of income for me. I got to get to 1,000 subscribers and all these different things like that. But, this ain't why I'm doing this. But hopefully one day my goal is for it to, make money for me too. But, you know, 7 years ago, I wanted to, yeah, you're welcome, TC. I hope the best for you and what you got going on. All you guys, Jeep Jones 85, I want you guys to stay encouraged, be strong, man. Write down all your thing. That's what this is about, is writing down everything. It has helped me out tremendously, and setting goals, and you'll feel better about yourself when you say, okay, I want to be able to make this amount of money. And, like my initial goal was just $300 a week, man. I do way above that on a daily basis. But, yeah, what's the name of the tech sheet website? It is going to be MSA World. Man, I wish I had the thing here. Let's see. I'll write it in here again. MSA World. Right there. MSA World. I don't know if you guys can see that in the comments. Let me look here. Okay. But MSA World, like I said, it's a little fee for it, but it's for the year, and it's very great. Yeah, well, man, like I said, it sounds like to me you already got a good foundation laid. You're getting this amount of calls like that, so that's very good. And keep growing that number. I say grow that number to where there's going to be certain weeks where you're going to be like, man, I got so many calls coming in, and man, I need to transition over. And the next thing next week you may not be getting that many calls. I recommend when you can, for like 2 or 3 months straight, if you're at a place where like 3 or 4 months straight and you're able to maintain this consistent number, and that consistent number is growing, then that's when I step on out there, because you know that you can survive and pay your bills for sure. So, but we are, I don't know, I'm thinking about, I talk to everybody like, man, you do a little bit of everything. I do. Like, I can't help it. Both my grandpas were entrepreneurs. My one grandpa was a mechanic. The next one was a carpenter. And my grandpa that's not alive now, he's like, man, you remind me of my brother. He's like, he'd go and buy watermelons and flip them. And I don't know. I just like the pleasure of taking my money and making more money. So yeah, thank you, Polar Appliance Repair. Yeah, man. But you guys, man, this has been a good Q&A. Sorry I was a little bit late, but kind of wanted to make it about an hour long, and we're almost there. If there's any more questions, feel free to ask me. I'll answer them. This week was Thanksgiving week was crazy. Maybe it'll slow down a little bit. Christmas is probably going to get a little hectic, but I got my lights here. I try to do some more recording in the garage for you guys of repairing stuff. I do my appliance repair ride-alongs where I kind of show throughout the day, different things we got going on. But yeah, let's see here. I missed you out there, Boss Life. How do you know what to stock? I see Samsung, Whirlpool, and so many other machines. Okay, so I got a playlist on my channel that you can go and check out. It's got different parts on it. And, we see so many different things. Like I got the Samsung heating elements that I keep on deck. Of course, all the thermostats, the idler pulleys, the rollers. Things that I don't keep on the van would be control boards because there's so many different control boards. Also, the thermistors for dryers. All the different all the different heating elements for dryers. You got your Whirlpool square heating elements. I keep those, and then you got the ones that instead of replacing the whole housing, you can just get the insert. That's also for Whirlpool, and that's also for Samsung. Some of those go together with each other. Washers. And dryer belts. You can get dryer belt kits that's got the rollers, got the belt, the idler pulley. You got GE belts. Also, like for GE, keep the front bearing, the bearing that supports the drum. And then you got the switches. And the more you do this, you'll begin to see different things that you need to keep on the van. You'll begin to, write down again, going back to the book, write down, okay, I fix a lot of dryers in my area, or I fix a lot of this in my area. And actuators for the washer. Customer calls, says, hey, my washer is not completing the cycle. It doesn't want to spin. Well, hey, you got your model number real quick, and look that model number up, and automatically it's one of the ones that has the actuator on it. I go there, I put it in diagnostic mode, which I have that on on my channel too. You guys must be in the same area. But yeah, I would, you'll begin to see what you need to keep. So lid switches for washers and dryers, belts for washers and dryers. We got refrigerator parts. You got the heaters. You got the defrost thermostats. You got the defrost timers. You got your thermostat for your refrigerator. You got your there's a couple of evaporator fan motors and condenser fan motors that we keep on there. But and then microwaves, the lid switches. I keep a couple magnetrons, and then you got your of course your oven ranges. You can keep a couple eyes on there, a couple bake elements. There's a couple different bake elements. I may keep a temp sensor or two. I may keep an igniter or two. So, you'll begin to develop, get the calls and begin to see what you need. And there's nothing wrong with, when I first got started, I had no clue. Like, there was not a video saying, hey, man, you need to get this, this, and this. There was no clue, on what I needed. And I just tell the customer, hey, I can be back to, so-and-so time. And when I was on the scale that I was on, I was able to kind of cater to people. I could come back within, the next day. But now there's my next day's already packed. So, but let's see here. Okay, right now I'm using PULS. They take 40% of the bill, and it's killing me. So I'm assuming that's a lead, like a lead kind of generation thing. Is that correct? Like they sending you the calls and they're taking that amount of percentage. Dude, that's pretty. Yeah, dude, that's pretty steep. What? So you're in Arlington. Look, this is what I do, and you can go back in this video, but I'm gonna say it again. Find the best warranty company in your area by going to a realtor and asking them who are they selling to. What I mean is like in my area, Old Republic is hot, First American is hot. There's a couple out there that's very hot that's selling thousands and thousands of contracts to customers. I would go to my area and within my mile radius, and I would ask, the realtor company in my area, go to several of them, and say, hey, who are you selling? Who are you contracting your customers under when you sell a warranty company? And what that does is these warranty companies are not going to. It was cool when they were allowing me to order parts. They stopped it now. Yeah, so like your warranty companies, like for instance, like you got the warranty companies through Whirlpool, GE, and all these different ones like that. They'll try to send you the parts, and when I was doing that style warranty like that, what I was doing, and the lady explained this to me. She's like, hey, as long as you're putting the manufacturer part on there, go ahead and put it on there. Tell them you need the part and just restock your van. Nothing wrong with that, because it didn't make a difference if they were sending me the part or not, because it was still a Whirlpool. It was still a OEM part. So I was just restocking my van with it. But yeah, that's what I would do, Boss Life. If especially, I wish I would have known this, when I first got started. But for the guys that are very comfortable, what you're looking at as far as appliance repair, I say go for it. Find that warranty company and, rock them for a couple years. And listen, and when you get these customers, this is what you do. Have your magnets ready. Pass out your magnets. Like I said earlier in the video, have a sheet printed out on how to write you a review. Get your Google My Business up and going. I'm going to have a video on do that, but that's going to be in the Appliance Repair Blueprint. That's easy stuff. Look, all this stuff out here is attainable for sure. You could learn how to do it, but I know it's hard to really know what to get and how to package it together. But see, I've learned that, and I can package everything together that say, hey, do this. But going back to that sheet, if you print out that sheet for them and you say, hey, once you completed the job, this is my magnet. And if you guys don't mind, go into Google and leave me a 5-star review. Honest review. I appreciate it. If you guys got Facebook and you have your Facebook link and you have your Google My Business link, and you give them the directions on how to leave your review, it'll work great for you, for sure. But yeah, man, I know, dude. I still get all these spam calls. Hey, man, this is so and so. We're trying to look for a technician to take on some of our work, and I crack them, man. Well, how much volume you talking about doing? And if they don't, if they can't answer that question, hang up. Well, what's your payout rate? What's your labor rate? How do you operate? Well, what we do is we pay you whatever you charge us. Well, okay, that sounds great. Well, that's how I like to operate. So, with that being said, how much volume do you have? I mean, if they can give you an honest answer on how much volume that they're giving, what you want to do is ask to talk to their manager. Okay, that guy, he's a representative. He's getting paid. Yeah, he does have these questions. But if you can get to that, if you feel like it's a good warranty company, go talk to that manager and see what's really going on. Commercial. No, we just strictly residential. I was at one time thinking about doing commercial, like appliances, like far as equipment goes, like restaurant equipment, but no. And then you got the laundromats, but no, we just strictly residential. Yeah, okay, and man, this is gonna be, and yeah, let me tell you something. I had a guy one time. I was just talking with him. He was just cool enough to tell me. I said, man, what do you do exactly? If I'm gonna pay you to do this, he's like, what do you do? And this is what he told me. He said, if you're gonna go into Google My Business under the meta tags, or you got a website, I've built websites. Search engine optimization. Like, okay, let me explain search engine optimization, how I do it as far as my YouTube goes, and this will give you an idea. When I upload a video, my channel is about appliance repair. So I put appliance repair training, comma, how to learn appliance repair, uh, tips for appliance repair, how to work on washers, dryers, different things like that in my meta tags. So in your local area, what you want to do is, and what these people are doing is they're going into your Google My Business page, and if you like washer and dryer repair, okay, let me give you an example. I do washer and dryer repair for my two counties that I service, for Santa Rosa County and Escambia County. I do washer repair for the cities and the towns in my county. And so like washer repair Milton, washer dryer Pace, washer repair Navarre, washer repair Gulf Breeze, washer repair Cantonment. And then I take down and I do dryer the same way. Dryer in Santa Rosa County, dryer in Escambia County repair, dryer in Milton, Navarre, all those things. I break down each word. So that way when people search it, Google's going to recognize it. And see, that's search engine optimization right there. I'll send that bill in the mail too, because like I said, this stuff's attainable, but this is what these folks are charging you to do. And you can do it on your own, really. Seriously. That's right. Search engine optimization. The more stuff, the thumbnails, the more things that you can link in. You can go to Google Analytics and type in these words in your area. You can around your service area, and it'll tell you the most words that people are looking for. And that's what you want to put, in your descriptions when you're writing your ads up. And like, for instance, you may see in my description on YouTube, I may have hashtags. I may say, never mind these words. And not only do I have it in meta tags, but I'll have it all in the description. That way that the system that the internet world uses is picking up on that. And that's how you get in front. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's right, man. Links, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, blog. Yep, that's right. I was thinking of just working on only washers, dryers, and fridges, just keeping it simple. Well, dryers, and then I had people call me for refrigerators, and I was thinking about how I was going to tell you guys this today. I don't like the word, a lot of people say fake it till you make it, but I don't like to use that word. As long as you can go into a customer's house and you can look professional, talk professional, and look like you know what the crap you're doing, even though in your head you're like, man, you're trying to get the information and what's going on, and you kind of have a sense in your mind of what you need to check. And I had to do this, for my first year or two for sure. Especially I was just seeing different things, and like, one of my first refrigerator calls was the light was staying on. So I'm like, okay, light staying on, what turns the light on and off? Well, the switches in the refrigerator. So I looked at it, got my little flat blade, popped it out. Sure enough, it was burnt up. So I knew that's what I needed to change. Did I have it on my van? Of course not. I didn't. But as long as you can be comfortable going into someone's house and keeping it professional, even though, there's certain, I do it today. There's certain things that, like, for instance, a downdraft fan for island, for oven, a downdraft fan. I ain't worked on many downdraft fans. And I pull up, it was a warranty call, and she said I hit the button, but nothing comes on. So, like, I pull up the schematics and I'm looking where, all the switches and different things they're at. It's got different micro switches. So I'm seeing where they're at. I'm pulling them apart, checking continuity, checking, the thermostat. And I see that it has a fan motor. And so from looking at that schematic, I see what all needs to be, closed. And I'm thinking, okay, all these are closed. Do I got power coming into this thing? Boom, I had power coming to the fan. It wasn't kicking on. So I'm like, okay, I need a fan motor. And sure enough, I was able to find that fan motor and got it fixed for them. So, just staying level-headed and being consistent and, don't give up. If you can read a schematic and you can read a meter, You know how to check voltage, you know how to check continuity, you can on things out. Yeah, and schematics are not hard to read for appliance repair. They're not, mostly open and closed circuits and resistors. You know what I mean? And you got AC and DC current. And there was a dryer I was on the other day. The schematic was not in there. They said the person left with it said that needed the control board replaced. Never did call back. So they said that they had ordered the control board and put it on there and it didn't fix it. So I was I went over there. First I diagnosed their oven, and then it was the lady's mom that lived next door. I went over there and the schematic went there. Well, I checked proper voltage. I had proper voltage, coming into that board. I had proper voltage leaving out of that board and going into a cube. It's called a cube power board. I had voltage coming out of that. And then I had a 10 voltage DC coming out of it. So I was questioning myself because I didn't have that schematic. I was like, man, I know that every time when I see these small boards like this, that I see this amount of voltage coming out of here, it's coming out of there and running into the user. $100 gift card in that. So hit the subscribe button. I'll be dropping a video on that. This is David with DC Appliance Repair, and y'all have a great, wonderful night.